So will you push record on that? Get it aimed and...
How do you make it go up? Is there a way to loosen it?
Just, I think this is the one that's loosening that. Oh yeah, no, it's that. So just...
And you ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so put it in the middle as best you can, and check. Push it away. Yeah, if you... There. Okay, so now opposites, sides right here. Notice I don't put them directly touching the clay. I leave a little bit of space right here. And then double check, make sure it's still centered, and do any fine tuning that needs to be done. Right there. Which I'll do by kind of pushing it into the wads just a little bit. Okay, then first thing is always make sure you've got a bevel. And then this area right next to the bevel, where there seems to be a little bit of a wobble, I'm going to go in with my hook tool and trim right next to that and see if that's wobbling where it shouldn't be. I can stop the wheel and recenter a tiny bit more. That was maybe too much, but okay, and then I'm going to go in here, trim that out. Trim this out, and I could be doing this just as well like this. Make sure I've got plenty of bevel. Shape my glaze catch. Look at it from underneath. And what I'm doing here is making sure that I trim, so I've got that curve coming across here, I trim all the way in here so that it's got a little bit of a shelf, leaving this part right here next to it. And I could maybe get something else in here to make sure, I like that to be, on this case, I'm going to make that kind of a rounded thing, so it's got a rounded scoop. coming up to that edge, and then I'll use a metal rib to smooth out the last of my little trim lines. Since I used ribs to make this in the first place, then I can get the right look consistently throughout by making it with a rib. That part with a rib, however, I'll add a little bit of water with a sponge to this, and then I can even smooth it to the level. This isn't required by any stretch, but and a lot of people like to leave trim lines as kind of their maker's marks. And sometimes I do, but most of the time I want it to look consistent on the surface there, so it looks thrown throughout. So yeah, I get it on there, and it's got the same shaping all the way across. Burnish, rub it with something hard and smooth. Even, you know, metal rib. Burnish the part that's going to be unglazed. And then when I'm satisfied with everything else, that's when I trim my inset foot. So I'm going to skip about yay far. Oop. Try to hold still. Stop and make sure there's nothing odd about that. It didn't get off center while I was doing any of that other stuff. Recenter if I need to. And then trim down there. And there I just messed that up, so often I will trim this part with the corner of one of these tools, and then just roll it across to the center. I do the least trimming here, although I do need to trim some. It can't rest on that. And then I'll have to smooth that out, that nick I did with my fingernails. Here's the one I usually like to use. And I want to trace this across here, make a smooth looking dome. And then I can trim that to be just rounded, or even use the hook tool again. And then I'll burnish that. wet, or if it was something hard and smooth. And then I usually even smooth this part out a bit. Again, not necessary, but something I like to do. Okay, and then I should be able to check. I can pull off 2 of the wads, make some marks here, and then little tiny fingernail marks right there and right there, something I can easily wipe away as I feel across here, make sure I didn't make anything extra thick or thin. It's all the right thickness, there's no extra weight anywhere. There's a little bit of a corner right there that I could trim some more. So I'm going to take those fingernail marks, line them back up with 2 marks I made. Push these back on here. And then you can trim out that little bulge. And again, I'll go in with the rib to smooth that back out real quick. And I'm all done. So now it's ready to pull off and sign. And then and there we go. All finished.